Friday night. The city lights blurred against the windshield, the soft hum of traffic filling the silence between us. Not an awkward silence, worse. The kind where both people know something is wrong but neither wants to be the one to say it. Britney sat in the passenger seat, humming off-key to a song she wasn't really listening to. Her lipstick slightly smudged at the corner of her mouth. I hadn't kissed her. She hadn't noticed. Her hair was still pinned up from the company party, the same way an actress stays in costume even after the show is over. Then her phone buzzed. It wasn't the sound that got me. It was the screen lighting up, angled just right on the center console, flashing a preview of a message from a number with no name. A local area code. I can still taste you. That dress was just unfair. Round 2 tomorrow. 1 second. That was all it took. My breath left me like someone had knocked the wind out of my ribs, but I didn't flinch. I didn't whip my head toward her or slam on the brakes. I didn't say a word. Instead, I reached out slowly, like I was adjusting the AC, and tapped the edge of her phone, flipping the screen off. She didn't notice. Or maybe she did and just pretended not to. She kept humming, completely unaware that, in that instant, everything between us had changed. I gripped the steering wheel tighter, my mind splitting into 3 possible futures. One where I pulled over and demanded answers. One where I turned the car into traffic and let fate take the wheel. And one where I waited. I went with the last one. When we got home, Britney tossed her heels near the couch, muttered something about taking a shower, and disappeared down the hall. She left her phone on the kitchen counter, unlocked. I don't believe in fate, but in that moment, it felt like something bigger than chance had placed that phone right in front of me. I picked it up. My heart wasn't racing anymore. I wasn't shaking. I wasn't afraid of what I'd find. I already knew. I didn't go to the message thread first. I went to her photos. There were 3 screenshots. The first, a mirror selfie in that green dress but not taken in our bedroom. The caption read, "Just like you asked." The second, 2 wine glasses. One with lipstick, a man's watch on the counter. And the third, Britney and a man I had never seen before. He was shirtless, his arm wrapped around her waist like he paid rent there. I stood there for a full minute, not moving, not breathing. Then I backed out of the photos and tapped the message thread. There was no name, just the number. But the way she spoke to him, she may as well have tattooed his name down her spine. Playful, cool, flirty. She made jokes I had never heard her make. Sent pictures I had never been worthy of. Wrote things like, "He suspects nothing." And the one that hit the hardest, "You're the only one who makes me feel real." I heard the water shut off. I had 60 seconds. I placed her phone exactly where she left it, turned off the kitchen lights, sat down in the armchair in the dark, silent, still. When she walked out in her robe, her damp hair over one shoulder, she didn't see me at first. She walked straight to the counter, picked up her phone, checked it, then froze. Then she turned, saw me. We locked eyes. I didn't ask a question. She didn't speak. She just stood there, gripping her phone like a weapon, like I had violated something that belonged to her.
No guilt.
No fear. Just irritation, like I was the one out of line. Then she tilted her head and said, "Were you looking through my phone?" That was it. Not an apology. Not even a decent lie. That's when I knew this wasn't going to be a sad story. This was going to be war. She didn't flinch. Not even a blink. Her robe hung loose, still damp from the shower. One hand gripping her phone like she expected me to rip it from her fingers. And maybe that's what she wanted. A scene, an explosion, something dramatic she could twist into her version of events later. See? He's unstable. He overreacts. I didn't give her that. I stood up slowly, letting the silence stretch between us until it thickened the air. Then, in a voice lower than I expected, calm but deliberate, I asked, "Who is he?" She didn't answer, just stared. The glow from her phone screen lit up her face just enough for me to see it, the tiniest twitch at the edge of her mouth. "Answer me," I said. Still nothing. Then, finally, like she was bored of the whole thing, she scoffed. "Don't do this right now. It's late, and I'm not getting into one of your emotional spirals. That line, one of your emotional spirals, it actually made me laugh. A sharp, dry sound. She was flipping the script, trying to make me the irrational one. I read the texts, Britney, I said, voice steady. I saw the pictures. You're not getting out of this with gaslighting. That hit her. I saw it in the way her eyes narrowed, her posture shifting. Not out of guilt, but like a poker player realizing their bluff had been called too early. Then her arms crossed, and just like that, the fake composure cracked enough to let the venom slip through. F*** it, she muttered. You saw it. Congratulations. What now, Mark? You want to yell? Cry? Break things? You want to play the victim for a few days and pretend we can fix this? Be my guest. Her words didn't even sting. Not because they weren't cruel, but because they were rehearsed, cold, practiced, like she'd been waiting for this confrontation and had written her lines weeks ago. So it's been going on for a while, I said, letting the weight of those words hang between us. She shrugged. I don't count days, she said. Then, after a pause, she added, and you've barely been here anyway. Ah, there it was. My fault. Classic. You mean when I was working double shifts to help pay off your student loans? I asked. Or when I picked up extra hours so you could figure out your passion projects? She rolled her eyes. Don't make this about money. God, you're so predictable. Something in me shifted then. Not rage. Not sadness. Something colder. Like I was watching someone I used to know rot in real time. I walked past her, into the kitchen, opened the drawer by the sink. The one she thought I never noticed. The one where she kept her spare phone. The old one she claimed she only used for work travel. I turned it on. Her face paled for the first time all night. She moved toward me fast. What are you doing? I didn't look at her. I told you, I said. We're not doing this your way. She reached for the phone. I stepped back. Her robe slipped slightly from one shoulder, but she didn't care. Her eyes were locked on the screen. Give me that, Mark. That's private. I looked at her then. Not anymore. I opened the messaging app. A different number. A different guy. Another one. But this one, his messages weren't just playful. They were desperate. Tell me you'll leave him. And her reply? I'm working on it. He's clinging. Clinging. That word didn't feel real. I read it again just to make sure. He's clinging. I exhaled slowly. You told this one you'd leave me too? She exhaled through her nose, frustrated. You're digging up things you don't understand. Then explain it to me. Silence. I stepped closer. Explain how you had time to juggle two-side relationships while I was the one booking your doctor's appointments because you were too anxious to call. Explain how you managed to be emotionally dead in this house, but suddenly full of life for men you barely knew. Her eyes darted away, and for a second, just a second, I saw something crack. But it wasn't guilt. It was calculation. I'm not going to beg, she said, turning her back to me. And I'm not going to explain myself to someone who gave up years ago. I almost laughed again. Me, the one who gave up. And that was when I realized something. She never loved me the way I loved her. She loved how I looked at her. She loved the reflection I gave her. But the second I stopped being a mirror, the second I started seeing clearly, she got bored. She turned to leave the room. I said, You'll be out of the house by Monday. She stopped mid-step. Excuse me? You heard me, I said. I'll sleep on the couch. You pack your things. You go. If I come home Monday and you're still here, I'll start legal paperwork without a word to you. And that was the first time all night she looked truly unprepared. Not angry, not smug, just exposed. She didn't reply. She just stood there, looking at me like a stranger. And in that moment I realized, she didn't sleep that night. Neither did I. I stayed on the couch, fully dressed, staring at the ceiling while Milo, our dog, curled up by my feet like he knew something had ruptured in the house. Every time Britney walked past, to get water, to pace the hallway, I could feel her watching me. Not with sadness, not with remorse, but with calculation. like she was mentally rearranging her chessboard. At 4:17 a.m., she tried to speak. "Can we talk?" I didn't answer. She waited a moment, then said, "Fine," and walked off, like she expected me to follow. I didn't. By morning, I already had my checklist. I'm not the kind of man who spirals. I don't yell. I don't post passive-aggressive quotes online. And I sure as hell don't sit around waiting for an apology that isn't coming. I get surgical. By 8:03 a.m., I emailed a realtor. The house was in my name, something she conveniently forgot when she thought her secrets would stay tucked away in burner phones and text threads. By 8:45, I called a lawyer. Not for revenge, for clarity. By 9:17, she walked into the living room, coffee in one hand, phone in the other. She looked refreshed, hair curled, makeup light, like she was heading out. "You're not even going to talk to me?" she asked casually, like we were discussing a canceled dinner plan. I looked up, calm.
No.
Her smirk was instant. "Because I hurt your little feelings?" That line told me everything. She still thought this was a game, but she didn't realize she'd already lost. She smirked, waiting for me to crack, waiting for me to yell, to plead, to show any kind of emotion she could use against me. I didn't give her that. Instead, I stood up, walked to the door, and opened it wide. "Then go," I said. She blinked. "What? You were already planning to leave, right?" I asked, nodding toward the heels by the door. "So go." For the first time, she hesitated. She had expected a fight, not indifference. But she wasn't going to let me win that easily. She slipped on her heels, grabbed her purse, and exhaled dramatically. "I'm not going to sit here and be ignored all weekend." "Who with?" I asked. She raised an eyebrow. "Does it matter?" I didn't answer. She tilted her head, watching me, like she was waiting for a reaction. When she didn't get one, she let out a short, annoyed laugh and walked out. Her heels clicked confidently down the driveway, and just like that, she was gone. I stood there for a moment, listening to the silence she left behind. Then, without a word, I turned and walked straight to the bedroom. There was something I needed to do. I pulled out the storage bins from the top shelf of the closet, the ones Britney didn't know I still had. Inside, receipts, old bank statements, and records of her spending. Uber rides from places she was never supposed to be. The spa day that charged her twice, from 2 different cities. She had been careless. Or maybe she thought I was. Next, I checked the Wi-Fi router logs. She always thought private browsing would cover her tracks. Didn't. I traced usernames she made on social platforms she never told me about. And that's when I found them. There weren't just 2 men. There were 3. One in our city. One 2 hours away. One who lived out of state. She met him at a conference. None of them knew about each other. She had renamed their numbers in her phone. Samantha Work.
Dan HR. Daug Yoga.
She had built an entire ecosystem of lies. A little digital empire of manipulation. And I was just the foundation she built it on. At that point, it wasn't heartbreak anymore. It was disgust. Not even toward her. Toward myself for not seeing it. For ignoring the signs. For believing we were just going through a rough patch. But this wasn't a phase. This was who she was. She came back that evening, a little too cheerful, like she had practiced her optimism in the car mirror. The second she stepped inside, I handed her a small manila folder. Not thick, not dramatic, just a few printouts. She looked inside. Her face didn't change, but her shoulders did. "This your backup plan?" she asked, voice low. "No," I said. "This is me giving you the opportunity to leave quietly." She smiled, but there was no amusement in it. "You think I'm just going to walk away because you printed out some screenshots?" "No," I said. "I think you'll walk away because I also have video." Her smile faded. See, what she didn't know was that the security camera above our garage had a wider range than she thought. It had caught more than she realized. Especially the night she told me she was working late at the office while I was out of town. The man she brought over didn't park in the driveway, but he did kiss her in front of the camera at 2:43 a.m. before she snuck him inside. I didn't need to say it. She knew. She sat down slowly, placed the folder on the table, and for the first time in this entire mess, her voice came out small. What do you want? I looked at her. Not with hate. Not even anger. Nothing, I said. And that's exactly what you're walking away with. She didn't respond. Not because she didn't want to, because she didn't know how. That silence? That was the moment I won. The next morning, she was gone. No door slam. No dramatic exit speech. Just gone. The closet was half empty. Her vanity was cleared. She took the clothes that mattered. The shoes she actually wore. Her laptop. Her travel bag. Left behind. The sentimental stuff. Our wedding album. The anniversary cards. The scrapbook we made on our honeymoon. The one I forgot even existed until I saw it lying on the kitchen table like roadkill. I stood there in the doorway, staring at the mess she didn't make. Because that's who she really was underneath the performance. Clean. Surgical. Precise when it served her. If she couldn't spin it, she abandoned it. If it couldn't be weaponized, it became invisible. She didn't even leave a note. But she did leave one thing behind. Her second phone. The burner. Not hidden. Not smashed. Just left on the counter next to the coffee machine. Like a parting shot. Like she wanted me to go through it. To see how deep it went. Like a challenge. I didn't touch it. Not yet. Instead, I sat in the chair she always used when she painted her nails. Just sat there, watching the morning light crawl across the floor like a slow leak. Milo lay next to me, confused. He kept glancing at the door, ears twitching every time a car passed. He didn't understand. Neither did I. Not fully. But I knew what came next. I picked up my phone, and I made a call. Not to Britney. Not to my lawyer. To her mother. This wasn't revenge. This was strategy. Her mother had always liked me more than she liked Britney. Once, over Thanksgiving wine, she told me, "You're the only stable thing in her life, Mark. Don't ever let her push you away." So I called. Not to tattle. Not to cry. Just to inform. She left, I said. A pause. Left where? Her mother asked, voice already heavy with dread. I exhaled. She's been seeing someone. Multiple someones. She's not the person you think she is. Another pause. Then quietly, I know. That froze me. She knew. How long? I asked. She hesitated. I didn't know details, she admitted. But I saw her changing. She was different every time we spoke. Colder. Cruel sometimes. I thought it was just stress. But deep down, I think I knew she wasn't being honest. With you. With herself. I didn't say anything. Then her mother added something else. She won't win, you know. Not this time. Whatever she's planning. She's predictable when she's cornered. Just don't give her anything she can use. I ended the call with a quiet thank you, and sat there for a long time, chewing on that last line. Predictable when cornered. Sure enough, by 1 p.m. the first hit came. A text. From a new number. We need to talk. You're being childish. I didn't reply. Then, another. You're not going to guilt trip me into losing everything. Then the last one. If you lock me out, I will go legal. Don't make this harder than it has to be. I took a photo of the door locks. Unchanged. Took a timestamp. Then replied with one line. Nothing is locked. Come get your things. I won't be here. And then I left. I didn't leave because I was scared. I left because I was done. I took Milo, drove across the city to a friend's place. Someone she didn't know, somewhere safe. I didn't want to be there when she returned. I didn't want to give her the chance to twist a confrontation into something she could use. When I came back the next morning, the house had been raided. Not vandalized. Not destroyed. Just stripped. All her art supplies were gone. Her journals. Her clothes. The plant she bought on our 3rd anniversary. The one she always said represented growth. She took everything she actually cared about. But the burner phone? Still there. Still sitting on the counter. Still glowing with notifications. I stared at it for a long time before finally picking it up. Unlocked it. 2 message threads. The first one, him. The guy from the conference. He was furious, demanding answers. Why are you ghosting me? I booked flights for us. I told my wife I was leaving. But the second thread? That was worse. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't pleading. It was strategy. Saved under a single letter J. No pictures. No voice notes. Just planning. He suspects. I left the phone out. He's not dumb. Time to pivot. Don't worry. I can bait him into reacting. Once I do, I'll call it emotional abuse. He's too calm right now, but I can trigger it if I cry. His lawyer won't touch me if he thinks I'm fragile. His mom likes him too much. Going to have to find a way to flip that. And the last one, the worst one. Worst case? I lose the house. But I won't lose the reputation. That one burned. She didn't care about love. Not about respect. Not even about money. She cared about perception. She wanted to control how the story was told. She didn't just cheat on me. She crafted a reality where she could. And I realized right then, this wasn't the end of our relationship. It was the beginning of her campaign. But what she didn't know, I was already 6 steps ahead. Monday morning hit like a blade across calm water. I was up before the sun. Showered. Dressed. Coffee brewed. The house was quiet. Hollow in the way only a recently gutted space can feel. Her scent still clung to the bathroom air. Faint. Synthetic. Like the last breath of a ghost too proud to leave. I didn't care. I had a different focus now. She thought the game was over when she walked out. She didn't realize I had just opened the rulebook. The burner phone sat beside me on the table. Still glowing. Still alive with secrets. I didn't reply. I didn't engage. I just backed up everything. Synced the logs. Exported every text, photo, and file. Not for revenge. For defense. Because I knew her. I knew the performance she was rehearsing. And I knew she was planning something bigger than texts and fake tears. So I preempted it. First thing that morning, I met with my lawyer again. Sat across from him in his glass office downtown. The sunlight bleeding through half-closed blinds like judgment. I handed him a flash drive. He plugged it in. Clicked through. Paused. Is this recent? He asked. Very. He leaned back slowly in his chair. She'll try to play the victim. I know, I said. I just want her blocked. I want the house protected. And I want nothing tied to her name when this ends. A nod. Let's make that happen. 3 hours later, the first real punch landed. An email. From HR. Not my company. Hers. A woman named Jillian Mendez. Director of Human Resources. Mark, I've been asked to reach out to confirm that Britney has requested her personal belongings be returned from your residence, as she is currently on a mental health leave of absence. Any communication directly with her may be considered distressing. Please coordinate through me moving forward. I smiled. There it was. The mental health card. Tactical retreat. Victim mode. Activated. She was getting ahead of the story. Preemptively discrediting anything I might say. She wanted everyone to believe she was unraveling. When, really, she was just shedding skin for her next reinvention. I didn't reply. I forwarded it to my lawyer. And then I made my next move. That evening I sent one email. Just one. To one of the men. Not the guy from the conference. He was already spiraling, and I had no intention of becoming his therapist. No.
I-message diot.
The strategist. The one who had been coaching her. I kept it short. Just so you're aware, she's told the other 2 men she's in love with them. You're not special. You're a piece on a board she's flipping. Might want to get ahead of that before she takes your reputation down with hers. 5 minutes later, he replied. 1 sentence. How do you know about me? I responded with a screenshot. Her texts. His initials. Her timelines. I didn't need to say anything else. He stopped replying. And just like that, her circle began to fracture. By midnight, I got a blocked call. I didn't answer. A voicemail followed. I recognized her voice immediately. Soft. Strained. Every syllable soaked in performance. Mark, I didn't want to do this, but I can't let you keep hurting me. I talked to a lawyer. If you keep trying to smear me, I'll file for harassment. You're making me feel unsafe. This is your last warning. Please stop. Not a plea. A monologue. A scripted message, meant to be clipped, saved, played back as evidence. She wasn't talking to me. She was talking to everyone else. She wanted to build a record. She wanted to flip the narrative. So I called her bluff. I sent a short reply through my lawyer. Nothing emotional, just precision. We have evidence you fabricated claims, manipulated multiple individuals under false pretenses, and intentionally constructed a misleading narrative. If public or professional damage occurs, we are prepared to pursue legal action for defamation and reputational harm. This is not a threat. This is a documented warning. 3 hours later, she unblocked me. Then came the final text. Why are you doing this? I was trying to protect both of us. That sentence. That was the tell. Not, I didn't do anything wrong. Not, you misunderstood. Just, I was trying to protect both of us. Like I was some kind of co-conspirator in her delusion. But she wasn't done yet. That night, she made her final move. She stole Milo, our dog, lured me into a final confrontation. But it wasn't about love. It wasn't about fixing things. It was about control. She wanted to see if she still had a hold on me. She didn't. I took Milo. I walked away. And for the first time, I felt it. Not relief. Not victory. Just peace. Because the worst thing she ever did wasn't cheating. It was showing me that she was never the woman I thought she was. And now, I was finally free. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment. Have you ever experienced betrayal like this? Let me know below.